daytime, nighttime, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to Eric and Sawana's Eye on Anthem.
You did it.
I did it. I figure people get sick of me forgetting that you were here.
I'm proud of you.
Especially your family. So thanks for tuning in. We are here today with someone that I kind of envy and wish I kind of did what he does, but I can't because I don't.
That doesn't mean you can't.
I guess I can't. You know, I tried it once. We'll talk about that in the show. But we've got Jeff Albrecht with Infinite MMA, BNA, BSI. What do we call it?
Infinite Jiu-Jitsu and MMA.
Perfect. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming
me
on. Tell us. So I actually went to your studio before you owned it, and they said we were just going to do a cardio class, and I showed up, and guys wanted to start punching me. I don't know why.
You have a punchable face.
Apparently. I think it's the attitude. But, Jeff, tell us, how did you end up in Anthem and owning Infinite MMA, Infinite Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate the work that you're doing here to connect businesses here in the community. So I'm originally from Los Angeles. We came out here in 2020. And when my wife and I first came out here, I was going to open a jiu-jitsu gym. And we were taking all of our tubs that we had moved our things in, and we were handing them out to the people in the community saying, hey, we got free tubs. Mm-hmm. Some guy asked what I did. I said, I'm going to open a jiu-jitsu gym. He said, you can't do that because Omar owns a gym. I said, I don't know. Who the heck is Omar? And he goes, if you open a gym, we're going to shut you down. And I said, oh, I got to go over and check out Omar. And so Omar had opened it here in 2018, and his goal was to be the first MMA gym in the North Valley. And so we started training. This is around 2020. A couple years later, Omar retires from the Phoenix Police Department, and then myself, my two partners, Jeremy and Josh, decided to buy the gym.
And that's how you end up with it.
That's it.
Yeah, and how is the gym going today?
It's going great. Yeah, when we started, we had about 27 members, and we had originally bought it as a passion project. We just wanted a place to train where we didn't have big box jiu-jitsu gyms coming in, and we're like, man, we really love the culture. It's connected. And so then we started growing it, person by person, handshake by handshake, and we have about 150 members now. But that's done with no marketing. That's just meeting people at the store, meeting people at the gas station, seeing somebody in a wrestling shirt saying, hey, you ever grapple? You got to come in and check it out.
Yeah, people do not know the value of wearing a shirt to promote your business in Anthem.
Yeah.
I get people all the time saying, hey, I saw a guy with your shirt. I saw this guy. And I'm like, yes, it's working. Free shirts are the biggest thing for my business. Paid advertising does not work, but free shirts, phenomenal.
I was at a gas station a couple weeks ago, and every time I go in, I'll stop by Circle K in a rash guard, and I'll have one or two people going, hey, what gym you train at? I see you train jiu-jitsu. And we've gotten about 10 people that have just said, hey, like, can I come by and check you out? And a lot of the conversation I'll ask is, are you a veteran? Mm-hmm. One of the first conversations, because we do free training for military veterans, active or no longer serving, in the morning. So we have a 6 a.m. class. It's 100% for free. And we've got a lot of folks to come into that program and train.
So there's no excuse for active or retired military to show up and whoop on you guys.
Yeah, and it's a great group of folks, too. So we had a coach. His name's John Silva, and he worked in tanks for many years. I think he was in the military for about 20 years. And when he retired, he started training. He was looking for something to bring back that feeling of being part of a team. And he found that with jiu-jitsu. And so when we bought the gym, his only ask was, can I start a veterans program? And so day one, once we bought it, we put this in place. We started with 2 or 3 folks, and now we've got about 30 veterans that train with us in the morning.
That is awesome.
So why jiu-jitsu? So many people don't know the difference. There's so many different martial arts, right? I personally prefer BJJ, but for you, why did you choose BJJ? What do you feel like differentiates it from the other arts?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll share my story, and then I'll also share kind of like the overview of how it differentiates. So I like to say I didn't find jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu found me. So I started training about 10 years ago, and I was an executive of a retail company, and my entire personality was tied to my job. So if you asked, hey, what do you do? I was the first guy to tell you, I'm a director of this company. Like, I was super proud of that. But along the way, I'd lost myself. And one day I was going to a liquor store to buy some beer, and a guy was throwing out water. And I don't know what prompted me to go talk to him, but I walk up to him and say, hey, what do you got going on here? He said, I got this jiu-jitsu gym. He said, you should come and train. And I gave him a bunch of excuses, and the guy told me, when you run out of excuses, come and see me. And I went home, I was like, the nerve of this guy, right? Who does this guy think he is? And I told my wife, and she goes, would you give him excuses? And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, maybe you need to take a moment of self-reflection. And I went back to that gym that Monday, not even intending to sign up. I just wanted to get a vibe check, see what it's all about. I got on the mat, and I've been training 7 days ever since. Mm-hmm. And so where jiu-jitsu differentiates from some of those other martial arts, I like to say jiu-jitsu is the art of control. Okay, you get to determine, especially when you're proficient, at what level you're going to put pressure on somebody. Where in a striking art, even if you're at the top, you can still catch a random punch. In jiu-jitsu, there is no way if you're proficient that somebody's going to catch you that isn't proficient. I can determine, am I taking you to the ground? Am I going to hold you there? Do I want to break your leg? Do I want to break your arm? Or do I just want to put my knee on your belly and we could just have a conversation and be able to alleviate? And a proud moment for me is we've had some of our students where at school they've been bullied, and instead of going and fighting the kids, they've taken the kid down, they've held him down, had a conversation until the teachers came. The teacher goes, hey, are you in a fight? And they're like, no, we're not. We're just having a conversation. And then that was the end of it.
That's my favorite part. It like builds a confidence and just kind of a calmness, right? It's more than just learning these actual skill sets. It's more about yourself, becoming confident in yourself, especially with those little kids and being bullied and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They call it the gentle art.
Yeah.
And again, it's all about control. Like, you get to determine the pace in which you push a fight. For me, like, I find a lot of confidence knowing that I'm as comfortable on my back as I am on my feet. And so that's what we're teaching a lot of kids. But beyond that, it teaches you a lot of leadership development. Like, there's leadership competencies that are baked in this. You have to learn strategic decision making. Not only am I doing the move that I plan to do, but I have to start thinking ahead of time. I'm thinking, is my partner going to do this, and how do I react?
Yeah.
And when you get really good, how do I make them do this and force them so I already know what that react is going to look like? It teaches you things like building confidence, but in a way where you're doing it through servant leadership. Because for you to get better, similar to wrestling, I have to make my partners better for me to get better. If I never make the people around me the best version of themselves, my ceiling's maximized. But if I can help elevate my training partners, in turn, I get better.
Yeah. So Infinite itself, are you guys gi, no gi? Are you Gracie? Like, tell us the difference between you and maybe other jiu-jitsu
Can we
gyms
just back
around.
up for a second? How do you know so much about this?
I've rolled jiu-jitsu.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm a wrestler. I wrestled in high
Oh,
school.
we
So
know
did my
that.
husband.
She wrestled in high school. Is that how you guys met?
No.
Did you roll
he's
around together on
old.
the mat?
He's older than me.
Oh.
He's a,
Do you think
he's
you
a
could
male
take him?
cougar. I could not
Male
take him. Have you
cougar.
seen him?
Those are
He's
called
gigantic.
Did you know they're called salmon? Male cougars are
I don't
called
like
salmon.
that. I want to workshop it. I don't like it at all.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
All right, sorry. I didn't know she knew so much about this. Like,
do.
gi. So back to your question, gi, no gi. Hoist Gracie, talking about him, like 1990 or 91, I watched him beat up some of the biggest, baddest dudes on the
It's so
planet,
impressive.
just pulling them to the ground, and he wanted to fight from the bottom, and he beat him every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell us the difference between gi, no gi, all that stuff that she just said.
Well, also shout out, her husband is awesome. And speaking of the wrestling program, just a quick plug. We got to shout out Porter and the team over there at the Predators wrestling
Go
program.
Jags.
Yeah, they're awesome. We've got some stuff planned with them. I was talking to Porter, and I'd love to do whatever we can to support their boosters program.
Yes.
You know, they're doing grappling, we're doing grappling, so there's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have gi on Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, and we do no gi on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also have gi and no gi in the morning classes. We offer afternoon classes as well on Wednesdays for kids that are homeschooled or part of alternative education. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have an open mat, and everyone's welcome. Every gym. So we have gyms that come from all across Arizona that come train. We invite all the gyms here in town. And just, it's an opportunity to get together and just kind of share thoughts, break bread a little bit, and train for a couple hours.
I love that.
Yeah, you guys support the community in like so many different ways. Like, what's some stuff you have coming up that you're really proud of? And I know you're doing stuff for Youth for Troops. What roll-a-thon? What's your roll-a-thon? You guys do so much stuff.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We always like to think that just us operating a business in town is a gift. I think a lot of people, they start a business and they do it through the lens of making money. And ultimately, like, you have to make money to support a business. But if you lead through like your heart and you lead through servant leadership, your business is always going to be successful. If you do it the right way, you build meaningful connections, you connect with folks. A couple organizations in town we're really proud to work with. Daisy Mountain Vets, and I got to give a shout out to Josh and his team. Right now they're working feverishly to start getting this Veterans Parade underway. And so we're working with him. We did a roll-a-thon to support them and get some donations for him and his group. Tanya and Youth for Troops does a lot of great work, Tanya and Renee. And so just spending time volunteering with them as well. And so we have another roll-a-thon that we're going to be rolling here around the holiday season, where all the money that we raise there is going to go to support nonprofit organizations that are based here in Anthem. And over the last 2 months, we started a really cool program in the gym called the Community Hero Program, where kids that train in our gym, when you log volunteer hours, you can use those hours to get gear. So rash guards, shorts, and gis.
Awesome.
And eventually I want to expand that in the community where kids that don't train with us can volunteer and use that as a means of being able to pay to train. So that way no kid ever goes without the opportunity to train jiu-jitsu.
That's cool. That's great you guys are so involved. And you told me that the profits, they come right back to the community. You guys don't take salaries or anything. You give everything right back to Anthem.
Yeah, everything that we can make, we try and redistribute it back to the community. Of course, we have operating costs that we have to pay for in the gym,
sure.
but after all of our operating costs, whatever we don't give back to the gym experience, to our members, we look to donate to nonprofit organizations.
Do you do like a beginner class? Like, because, you know, the biggest fear for most people is day one, just showing up.
Yeah,
they don't want to show up. They sit in their car. Some people sit in their car and they drive away because they're so nervous, so scared. Like, how do you make it the transition easy for them to get to the gym and come in? And like, can they do a one-on-one to learn at first, or do they go right in the class setting, or how do you guys handle that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We get a lot of families that come in, and we see when somebody walks in the door is the hardest part for members. Like, you see somebody on day one, and normally they do one or two things. They'll jump in, 10 toes, and they're ready to go. And then you see folks that are kind of hesitant. You'll see them kind of sit on the side of the mat and look a little bit. So the way that we scale our programs is we'll teach moves. One, we'll teach a beginner move at the beginning of class, and if it's your first day, you're only sticking to that move. And then we'll scale it to have more advanced moves for our kids so that we're making sure we're engaging them as well. And then any of our new adult members that come in, we take you through the basic 5 positions. So one of our coaches or owners will pull you aside, and they'll walk you through the base positions, and we'll pair you with somebody who has experience. What's really neat about jiu-jitsu as a sport is you get a lot of folks that they care. I tend to say that people in a jiu-jitsu gym, it's hard to find somebody with bad intentions.
Yeah.
And if they do have bad intentions, they get weeded out very quick. Like, the thing that stops people from succeeding in jiu-jitsu is an ego. We'll get folks that they come in, they say, hey, I've been street fighting for 20 years. And you'll see them. Like, my first day, I got submitted 4 times by a 13-year-old girl. And in that moment, it should have been soul-crushing, and I could have just walked away. But I realized, like, something had to change with me. Mm-hmm. And so to your question, anybody that comes in, we'll scale the curriculum for them, and we'll pair them with somebody that's gonna help them out. And in our kids program, we have no less than 3 coaches on the mat at any given time.
That is cool.
Tell us about some local partnerships that you have. I know you guys are doing some cool stuff with Homeland Brew. We love Mike. Love Mike
do?
up in here. Yeah, you were friends with him. You brought him in. I'm telling him you said that.
Kidding. He'll see this,
Mike,
probably.
if you're listening.
We do love you, but you're not very good at basketball. Anyways.
Oh, man.
Savage.
I love Mike. And so, to be honest, the reason why I even thought about coming on the podcast here was I saw Mike's kick off the first one. And then I sent Sawana a note, and I said, man, I got to get on here. I do have a gift for you after we wrap today, and it's courtesy of our friend Mike. Mike gave us 2 growlers. We have our own beer, Infinite Jiu-Jitsu, number 16. It's a Hefeweizen. And Mike was kind enough to give us 2 growlers. So I'll send you both home with some beer from Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to start drinking it right away. We can't drink it on camera, can we? Isn't that a law, an FAA, FCA, somebody? Are we monitored by anybody?
I am not a lawyer.
No.
I don't think anyone cares. We have how many subscribers?
3 subscribers are watching. Thank
I
you
think we're
very
up to
much.
11. It's fine.
But he's done such a good job in the community of just bringing people together. He's created a space where, like, folks of different backgrounds can get in there and chat. We were there last night, and I got to talk to a couple veterans. One was from Sacramento, trains jiu-jitsu in Sacramento. He said, hey, next time I'm in town, I'm going to come by and see you. So just being able to have that space where, you know, whether it's him doing it, Tennessee Grill, Legends, just we've got a lot of good folks out here doing good work to connect folks.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
It is. It's a good community. And I think that you said it right, like plugging in and being part of your community as chamber members and chamber leadership. That's the main thing I always tell people. They're like, how can I be successful? Authentically support your fellow business owners. It's not necessarily specifically for an ROI, but you have the same vested interest. You want to see your community succeed. You want to bring good quality services to your community. And we as the business owners are the ones supporting the sports teams and the cheerleaders and your kids' gymnastics and all of these other things. You're coming to us for a banner sponsorship. So you want to also support your fellow business owners as well. It's really important. So thank you.
It's like the old theory, like if everyone does a little, no one has to do a lot.
Exactly.
And so even if the kids in the community aren't your own, we all have a responsibility of raising them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're going to live in the community, and if you raise great kids, they become great adults.
And this imprints on them. This community is going to imprint on them for the rest of their life. I grew up in Central Phoenix. That imprinted on me in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
And like my boys, they grew up in Anthem, and 5 years ago, if you said, let's go back, why don't you move to Anthem? They'd be like, no way. And now they're like, God, Anthem was an awesome place,
great.
Dad. Like, I had the best childhood because of the people.
Yep.
The buildings, none of that. Like, it was great, whatever. But the people in this town support businesses and love your kids. And Griffin would be out at Taco Bell, and 3 people, hey, are you Killstrom's kid?
Totally.
And he'd be like, oh, Dad, I can't get away with nothing. I'm like, perfect.
That's why
But
I'm doing
he still
this.
did stuff. But anyway, the community, so thank you for getting so, like, you jumped in during COVID, the weirdest time in history, and took over the gym. And I'm proud to have you as a friend and being part of this community because you're doing a great job. So thank you.
And I appreciate the work you're doing just to create this conduit of connecting folks. And you said it's really neat. When I came here, so I grew up in East LA, and there's a lot of pride in that community. But it's a bigger community, so you don't know everybody who's around you, right? Like, you'll see different families, but there's just so many people that you don't get to know everyone. When I came here, it was a little bit of a shock because I was sitting at Legends, one of my first meals that I had, and everyone knew everyone. And when they came in, they were like, hey, Mike, hey, Mike, hey, Mike. And I was like, man, this is the goal, is to be in an environment where everyone knows everybody, but they genuinely care. And like, even to your point, like, look, if you see somebody's kid that's not doing the right thing, you can hold them accountable, but through the lens of genuine care.
Yeah.
Because you want to see them be the best person they can be.
Yep. This community definitely rallies around its own when things go down, for sure.
My favorite line from my favorite president, Ronald Reagan, and you remind me of this. You can't do something for everyone, but everyone can do something for somebody, and you embody that. So thank you for everything you're doing for the community. Thank you, too, for running that chamber and keeping it going. And, we love community members like you in the chamber. At Amped, we got to thank Amped for having us. They let us host this. Everyone always like, where do you guys record? It looks like you're in a dungeon. But we like the look.
It's the secret room.
It's the secret room at Amped that most of you will never get to come into unless you get on the podcast.
Oh, and ask, Jeff, where can listeners find you, your business?
Absolutely. We're on Instagram. We try and have as much fun as we can on there. So if you want to come check and see all of our wacky and wild antics, follow us on Instagram, Infinite Athletics AZ. We've got our website set up, full transparency in pricing. We like to put everything out there, full transparency in our schedule, or on Facebook. Or just give us a call or text. We'd love to talk to you. Stop by. Yeah. And if you see me at Homeland and say Brew Jitsu, the rumor is I'll buy you a beer. So come by and see me.
Perfect.
Thank you very much. Go have a great week.
Thank you.
All right, take care.